So there is some of challenging some basic beliefs and focusing on the good, because if you don't know what your target is, how are you going to hit it? If you don't know what it is you're trying to go for, how are you ever going to do it? It's like going target shooting and you shoot your target. I don't care if it's bows or arrows or guns or what. And then somebody comes and says, well, did you get your target? What target? If you don't know how to get to where you're going, you're not going to get there.
All right, it's Wednesday morning, it's 9 a.m. It's time for 1 Million Cups.
The microphone's turned on for you.
Oops. The microphone's turned on and we're all fired up. So notice what I'm doing with the microphone. If you have called to use the microphone today, please do this. Notice in the side view, I look like Mick Jagger. I mean, with the mic technique, right? So put it up to your face. If you hold it like this, no one can hear you. Okay, so welcome to 1 Million Cups. Point your phone at that and check in just to let the nice folks at the Kaufman Foundation know that we've got a good crowd here today. If you check in on 3 occasions, you'll get the coveted Million Cups pen. On 6 different occasions, you'll get the notebook. So please do that. Here's our mission. Our mission is to make it possible or make it easier to be an entrepreneur. And the journey of an entrepreneur is a difficult one. And we're here to provide access to education, resources, and people to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. And we work toward that through a national and local mission. The national mission is set up by the Kaufman Foundation. They train our organizers and give us software for the back end. And that way there's a consistent program from one instance of Million Cups to another. And locally, of course, every instance of Million Cups is free to take advantage of the unique resources in that community. And we are particularly rich in that area. Next one. Okay, we are the #1 Million Cups chapter in New Mexico, and we achieved that by having a small denominator. There are other nice instances elsewhere. I've been to some of these physically. I encourage you, if you're on the road and it's Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., try to drop in at a Million Cups somewhere, and you'll find it's a room full of people you don't know, but the format will seem very familiar to you because it's a standard format across all of the instances of Million Cups. Next. Here's our key pillars. This is what makes Million Cups different from your typical meet and greet. These are presentations, not pitches. In a pitch, typically the presenter is trying to extract money from the rich people who are in the audience. Everything else is fine about their company. They don't have any challenges. They got the perfect team, you know. And we know, because how many of you are entrepreneurs, right? I mean, most of you. That's not usually the case. And at Million Cups, it's turned around. When you give a presentation here, you're free to talk about your challenges, the things you are not very good at, and your vulnerabilities. And you expose that to the community and ask the community for help. And I think you'll see every week the community is very helpful. So these are authentic connections, not networking, not seeing how many business cards you can pass out. All kinds of people are welcome and all kinds of businesses are welcome. So we want to keep this a friendly and an educational environment. So please be friendly, be educational, be your best and highest self when you're here. And if somebody says something that you sharply disagree with, that would be an excellent time to keep your opinion to yourself. All right, next slide. You can apply to present. It's really easy. Just talk to one of our organizers. We'll set you up and coach you to give a nice 6-minute presentation that will invite 20 to 25 minutes of questions and discussion. You should be a for-profit company, defined as a company that sells goods or services for more than it costs to produce them to someone besides your mom. Okay, so here's our organizing team under the slide there. I'm Paul Sauter, Chief Scientific Officer of Equiseek. Lisa Atkins, back from her world tour, is our organizer here at Fat Pipe. Eric Grins-Whitmore is here today. Danielle's here today. And Sonia, taking advantage of the good attendance, is online, I'm sure. And Keiko and Oscar are always lurking online somewhere. So shout out to all of these folks. And our sponsors, Fat Pipe, we have entered our 10th year of doing Million Cups, and we have never paid a cent for the use of Fat Pipe. So bravo to Fat Pipe for being our host all these years. Jason Collin Photography, always making us look good. More Than Organized, organizing your stuff, your thoughts, and providing creamer. The Foundation for Sustainable Living, providing the coffee. Noventum Custom Software Development, software that doesn't suck, and donuts. And Minuteman Press for all the times you want to put ink on paper. So thanks to our sponsors, and thanks for joining us today. So I'm also the coach, so it is a pleasure to introduce Marilyn, who's going to have some interesting questions for us.
Thank you, Paul. He's done a great job. Raise your hand if you're an entrepreneur. Most of you are. Keep your hand up if you think your biggest problem has time, money, or managing your business in it. Oh, there are several of you, but you can put your hands down because that's not really your problem. Your problem is how you think about it. Yeah, I guess I should get this one. I am a life coach, and I got into life coaching because my friend Eleni came to me and said, Marilyn, help. And she told me her problem. I said, well, try this and try that. And ever since then, she's been bothering me to just say, you got to do this. The whole world needs to hear about it. You got to do this. So I'm going to start by introducing you to my friend. Back one, okay. This is Susie. Susie has had a bumpy marriage for many, many years. And finally, her husband did something where she went, oh my gosh, how do I deal with that? So she came to me. I hadn't seen her in several years. She came to me and I taught her a few concepts and it changed everything for her. She's still married. I don't know if it's going to last or not. She doesn't either. But she now knows how to deal with these things. She has the confidence to do everything that she needs to. And those problems are not holding her back any further. This is the vicious cycle. This is one of the first things that I was introduced to. You've got fear on the one side and ego on the other. And the fear or the false emotions appearing real drive the ego, which is edging God or good out. I don't care what you call it, but they're both in there. And the more you have fear, the bigger the ego, and the bigger the ego, the more the fear. And it gets to be this really vicious cycle where you're trapped and you can't move. That's what I teach people to recognize and get away from. The victory cycle is where you want to be. It's all give love and receive love. It's simple. How do you give love? How do you receive love? In the business form, it might be giving a good product to get some money in return. In a relationship, it might be giving something here and receiving something there. This is across the board, something that works everywhere all the time. So we're going to go back to that. How did I get into this? I went through a really difficult time in my life where I ended up needing some major help and major changes. And somebody pointed me to an acupuncturist who they said he's even better at life coaching than he is at acupuncture. And he taught me this. And what it did is it changed my life. What happened is the marriage I was in was so bad, it was time to exit. He dumped all of his hatred into my 3 kids. And everybody said, you'll see him in 10 to 15 years. It's just the way it works. Counselors, lawyers, everybody. And that was not an acceptable answer to me. But with what I learned and how I applied it, my kids never totally walked away from me. They loved me even when they said they hated me because I kept giving them love no matter what they threw at me. It changed everything. It was amazing to see the changes that happened because once I understood what was going on and what was driving them and the fear and the ego behind it, it was clear that they were not the problem. But that changed everything. Now, how does this apply to business? Because that's where most of you are. If you've ever gone into a business that is full of the vicious cycle, you feel it instantly, don't you? And you don't want to be there. And you don't want your business to be there because that is a recipe for failure. What you need to do is make sure that you are in the victory cycle as much as you can be, because that is where things will be, people will be drawn to you that need you, and it will be a give love, receive love cycle. It's so much better that way. Let's see my last slide. Oh, that's where I'm coming from. Where this makes a difference is all in relationships. And who is this for? If you want a coach to improve your ROI, I am not your person. But if you want to improve the relationships and the atmosphere, I don't care if it's your home life, your business life, something else, this is a good place to go. Dr. Soli, acupuncturist, says it's all in the scriptures. Just point anybody to the scriptures that looks where it comes from. But it's done in such a way that you don't have to go to the scriptures to find it. It's good. It's wonderful. Let's see. If you have a challenge, your biggest problem is not that challenge, and everybody has a challenge. The biggest problem is, how are you going to deal with your problem? Are you going to deal with it in the vicious cycle, blaming, hurting, accusing people? Or are you going to the victory cycle where you say, okay, how do I deal with this? Here's this disaster. How do I make it better? Because that is where everything happens. So that's all I think. I do have a seminar come. The business end is all about teaching people, seminars, workshops, one-on-one coaching. So thank you very much.
Questions in person, form a line here. We'll also take them online. So raise your hand or chat me up if you have a question for Marilyn.
Hello, Miriam Ortiz-Pino with More Than Organized. I am wondering what your biggest business challenge is. We now have a great idea of what you do, but what's the challenge you'd like some help with?
Other than this is the first time I've done live coaching and I have no clue. That's one big challenge. Getting everything up online, getting the word out, doing the things that I need to do so that people who are looking for these answers can find me. I think that's the biggest challenge I have right now. The website, just all of that is huge. It's like, I don't know what I don't know yet, but I'm going to learn it. And those people are being placed in my path as I need them.
Perfect. And then I'm not sure if you've considered yet creating some sort of signature system. I mean, I know you're doing this training and you have your frameworks, but how are you going to deliver that to your clients consistently?
You mean, how do I communicate with them? How do I teach this?
When someone wants to work with you, how do you say, this is how I can work with you? The offering.
The offering, okay. I'll say, what do you want? I have seminars, which will help people. I've got one coming up in October. The flyer's there. The website won't be up until the 1st of October, but the word needs to get out anyhow. I will do this individually. I will do it in small groups. And if anybody wants to have a free life coaching session, if you bring three people to the seminar, I'll give you a session free. So I'm advertising, I'm doing things like that to help people find out what's going on. Let's see what else. individual groups, seminars. That's how I'm offering my services.
Great.
Thank you.
Hi, Brian Steiner with Noventum Custom Software. So related to the previous question, do you have like a standard price sheet for these offerings? And can I just like look at it and decide if I want to pay, or how does do you have that solidified or not yet?
No, but that's a very good question. I think I need to sit down and do that this week so that it is out there for everyone.
We have a question online from Annie. Let's skip to her and then we'll come here. Annie, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, Annie.
Hi, I just unmuted myself. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you, Annie.
Okay, great. Yeah, what would be your value add proposition to those seeking coaching, both personal and professional? Do you do an evaluation of an individual before you jump in and say, okay, here's what it's going to take? Is it a combination of workshops and then deciding whether or not a one-on-one is in order? I don't know, right? So I'm asking.
I think an evaluation is a very good idea, and telling you what I've got so that you can see how much that will help you. Workshops as needed, as I have them coming up, are always a good thing, because the more you know, the more you can do on your own. It's about empowering you to become a better person than you otherwise would be. And yes, talk with me and I will set up whatever you want, online, in person, wherever, whatever meets our needs.
Okay, and then so the confidentiality part of that, because some things may be revealed that's not necessarily for public information. I'm assuming that that kind of goes without saying, sort of the
yeah.
NDA.
And the what?
NDA, non-disclosure agreement.
There, if you tell me something, unless you explicitly tell me it's okay to say something to whoever, it never happened, because it's none of my business.
Thank you.
Thank you, Annie.
Phil, we'll come back to you in just a minute. Come on up, JP.
Hi, Marilyn. I met you at your first meeting here.
Yes.
Congratulations for getting in front of people and sharing. I think it's truly amazing what you're doing. I'm into wellness. My startup business is called Amazing Life Works. And I do like sound bath work, and I encourage people through healing modalities. So I wanted to ask you this question. You talked about your spiritual path. How much of that, when you said the scripture, is actually part of the process or treatment when you're helping people? Like, are you going through, I assume this is kind of like a Christian-based philosophy that you're practicing. How much of that is communicated or part of the therapy session with people?
If you're Christian, you're going to see Christianity in it. If you're Buddhist, you're going to see Buddhism in it. Scriptures mean anything that any major religion feels is their basis for belief, because once you peel away the top layer, it's all the same. Yeah, there are differences, but the basic truths underneath are all the same. And when you talk about those truths, like the victory cycle, that is in every religion. It's just not put in those words. So if you're atheist, we don't have to talk about God. We can talk about good. If you want to go full Christian, we can go full Christian. If you want to go Buddhist, I can teach you the doctrine and we can talk about it, but I don't know the Buddhism quite as well. So it's meeting you where you're at. It's not preaching any religion to you. My experience is there is religion and there is God, and they may or may not meet in the same place.
So it can be non-denominational. You're not focused on the philosophy or the scripture. You're just using the value of the message from that to help people.
Yes. For example, God is love. That is everywhere. That is a truth. God is good. So if it's not good, is it of God? Oh, that changes a lot of things. All of those messed up things that happen wherever you were, they're not of God. I don't care who claims they are. But it kind of straightens things out as far as thinking but my preacher, pastor, whatever said I have to do this, but it doesn't feel right, then it's not of God. So there is some of challenging some basic beliefs and focusing on the good, because if you don't know what your target is, how are you going to hit it? If you don't know what it is that you're trying to go for, how are you ever going to do it? It's like going target shooting and you shoot your target. I don't care if it's bows or arrows or guns or what. And then somebody comes and says, well, did you get your target? What target? If you don't know how to get to where you're going, you're not going to get there.
Awesome. Well, anyways, thank you so much. One thing I would add, and you probably understand this, that there's a catharsis process when people share. And so that's why, there's psychiatrists and psychologists and counselors. And when we internalize and get into that fear cycle you're talking about, the vicious cycle, it's hard for us to make a change because we're stuck in this loop. But when a person communicates and has that sharing, sometimes just talking to another person and opening up about it and releasing it can bring so much change and possibility for people. And I really applaud you for helping people and doing this work. So thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Paul. And I will add that, JP, I will add that if you have a lot of physical ailments, they probably have an emotional root somewhere, because your body is very closely related to your spirit. Thank you.
Paul Wilton, you have some input, Marilyn?
You mean me, Phil?
Yes, Phil.
I thought you said Paul. Hi, Marilyn. Phil Wilton from Executive Outcomes. Got a couple of things. I really liked your reply to the previous question about religion, and where you said that basically, what I understood what you said was that when you remove the top layer, everything underneath is the same, doesn't matter what religion it is. And I think that's very profound and a very good answer. And it also diverts a lot of possible conflict through religions. Your next point was, you said, how do you know where you're going? How do you know where you're going to, or how do you know where you want to get to? You gave the example of the targets, but if your client is coming for coaching, they're coming to you because they're unsure. So that means, do they know they have a target to actually get to? And I guess you could say, or logically, yes, but where is that? What is that target? And isn't that the point of them coming to you as a coach for guidance, to actually get them along a path?
Yes, if they knew what their target was, they probably wouldn't be coming to me asking for help.
Right.
But in the process, we've got a 3-hour workshop on the victory cycle and how it will, how applying that will change your life, how it will help you say, oh, that was something that, oh, that act was in the vicious cycle. I don't want to repeat that. Oh, that relationship is in the vicious cycle. How do I fix that? Because until you have that foundation of, is this a good interaction, relationship, whatever, you hang around the people you've always hung around with, because that's what your normal is. It's when you have learned that, oh, when I interact with this person in this way, it's negative, then you can sit back and say, why and how do I overcome this? Because for every interaction, it's different. For every person, you have to evaluate, where are you negative, where are you not? And there are a few things to look at. There is what you yourself are negative or in the vicious cycle with, and how do you get out of that? And there is, okay, this interaction is in the vicious cycle. How do we get out of that? And there is, that person is in the vicious cycle. How do I deal with them? Because all of that makes a huge difference. And for everything to really flow in the victory cycle, you have to understand enough of those nuances to get out of the vicious cycle, to get in the peace and the love and the flow of the good things yourself.
Thank you. So I do have another question. You're very confident and profound and about expressing what you can do to help people. And one of your problems you said was how do you attract more business to you? And I'm assuming that we are of an age where you're not very much involved in social media. And as much as you may not like that, that's something that you're going to have to get involved with if you want to improve your client base. So for example, LinkedIn is a good place to go because it's a business site. It's not a general Facebook type place where people just throw comments left, right, and center, or you join in mass discussions. You can actually direct your business on LinkedIn. And I have a number of coaches that are connected with me that are in my area that are doing very, very well through LinkedIn. You might also want to do, your website is something that you're going to have to get up just because people, for whatever reason, they don't believe you're viable if you don't have a website. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's the way it is. Another area that might serve you well would be the local chamber of commerce. Yeah. And if you join them, I would go and have an exploratory discussion with them because they hold various different types of groups that go on during the month. You will get to know all those groups and you can go to those groups. It's very minimal costs. It's like $10 a time or something like that. And you can get introduced to a lot of people to expand your client base. So they're just the kind of three ways that you can probably get more of your client base and get you out there more for people.
Thank you. Those are all good ideas. I haven't gotten that far, but now I have a direction to go with that. So thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Mock. I do stuff. I'm very passionate about the subject because it does really help people. However, my question to you is, are you seeking clients who are trying to develop their personal lives for better growth? Or are you seeking clients who are like entrepreneurs like ourselves who are trying to have an ethical practice within their business?
I have seen both.
Okay.
Truth is truth, period.
Yes.
It works on a personal level. It works on a business level. And you can apply these principles either way, whether it's help, I've just had this horrible traumatic experience that I can't seem to get over, or whether it's, I've got this Airbnb, how do I make it good? And let's go through the whole thing and make every room so when you walk into it, you feel the love of the people who designed it. It's good for both of those things.
Cool. So my next question to you is, I guess it would wrap around to where people are telling you to develop like website. If you had come to me like 10 years ago, my ego, because I was strapped in that vicious cycle, is I'm going to look at you and be like, you can't help me. Is there something on paper or testimonials of people that you've worked with in the past where I can? So most people who are stuck in the ego don't want to better themselves because they think there's nothing wrong with them. And it takes a lot of, for my instance, it took a lot of stuff happening to me for me to realize like, oh, I am wrong. And most people who have more to lose, like a business, don't necessarily want to assess those risks because there is that fear of, if I actually admit to this, I may lose my business. So my question, hold on. There was a question in that.
You're too young for that to happen.
I live in a lot of fires. Shoot.
How do I deal with that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. If somebody is stuck in the fear cycle, they won't want to talk to me. If somebody says, my life is a total disaster wreck, help, that's when I will help them. If somebody insists on the vicious cycle, I will say, thank you, because I cannot change anybody unless they choose to change themselves. And sometimes it takes going through a train wreck before you are ready to change. And sometimes people go through a train wreck and say, it's all your fault and I don't have to change. Fine, if it's all somebody else's fault. Okay, there's nothing I can do to help you.
I remember what I was gonna say. The duration, what is the duration? So say I'm a business professional wanting to expand my business or develop an ethical practice. What is because I'm gonna be looking for a timeline because I have customers I need to like sell stuff to. I got deadlines. What would be an objective timeline based on like, you said you had a 3-hour curriculum on the vicious cycle. How can you provide that in like a paper or a document? I keep moving this away. We need like Britney Spears or something like that. So my question is, can you provide me a document of a timeline saying, hey, in 6 months with my coaching, I can get you to this point, but they need to understand it. In those 6 months, they need to swallow their ego because I'm very like, I have to look at something and be like, okay, I understand it's tangible. I hate this thing. Do you have something like that other than a presentation? Because presentations are nice, definitely on the internet, but when we're talking face to face in a business meeting, I'm going to want to have a piece of paper to say, show me that this works and show me the time that it's going to take for this to work.
The timeline depends on where you're starting and where you're going. If you need to go 50 miles, it takes an hour. If you need to go 500 miles, it takes 10 hours. So that would have to be an individual question that I'm answering. One of the next 2 things I'm developing is I guess you call it a workbook of what you do, developing the slides, developing all of the things that will make this easier for somebody to go through. And it depends also on how far do you have to go. Some people, after a couple hours, oh, I get it, and they're ready to go. Some people have a lot of unlearning to do so they can learn how to do it better.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
You have a question?
Yes.
Okay, well, this will be our last question.
Hi, I'm Graham. I've got experience in B2B systems management and things like that. I guess my question is, you said you've answered a lot of questions saying, I haven't gotten there yet. So I'm just sort of curious, as you start this journey, how do you spend your days?
Well, every day is different. I have a business raising chickens, so I get up and feed them every morning and every evening. I also teach piano. That takes a lot of time. I also have a garden that I sell at the farmer's market, and I do life coaching wherever I can fit it in. I have a few people that come to weed in my garden because they want the life coaching. That's where they find it. So there's a broad spectrum of a lot of things I do, but the one thread that is always common is if it does not make me feel good, I'm not doing it.
Okay, and maybe a follow-up question is, you've talked about working with other people, helping other people. It's clear that you care about the area, have experience in the area. What is different about now? And you mentioned the woman at the beginning. Is that the catalyst for change, or why the change now?
The change now is one more friend came. That was Eleni. You guys know her. She came and said, Marilyn, help. That was what, March, April timeframe, and she bugged me every single week until July, when I said, okay, I'll do it. But Marilyn, people need this. You have to help them. You have to do this. And I couldn't say no to that. So it's been, okay, let's see what we can do. It's been a real adventure trying to figure this out as we go. I know the life coaching end, it's the one thing that I am certain about. The developing everything, the software, the getting it out, I'm still learning those things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it is my singular honor to be able to ask you New Mexico's official state question, red or green?
Usually green, but sometimes red, especially on enchiladas.
All right. And finally, what can this community do for you?
This community can help me get the word out by finding people that want speaking engagements. I don't care if it's free or what, and telling people that, look, we've got this where we need it. So just spread the word.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
My name was Graham.
Yes.
There's someone online who wants your contact info.
Okay. There you go. That's Million Cups in action. Thanks again.
Awesome. Awesome job.
So what do we got next, Lisa? What are we going to do?
Well, I see a few new people, so I think we need.
Let's do introductions. If you're here for the first time, come on up and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do and what you're looking for. Come on up. Don't be shy. That won't work for an entrepreneur.
I come up to where you are?
Yeah, you got to watch it. There's this one.
Okay.
So here you go. I'll hold the mic for you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. My name is Gladys Morales. I met Marilyn at a meetup for investors and real estate people. So I am so happy to be here. I've been it's funny, I've been seeing this for a while, no pun intended, but I saw your guys' advertisement, you know, of a million cups, and I was like, I want to go there one day. And then Marilyn says, I'm going to give my spiel on my coaching. You should come check it out. And I was like, oh my gosh, perfect timing. And I just want to say, Marilyn, I'm so proud of you. It's amazing what you're doing. It gives me courage to, you know, get up here and be like, hi, Mom. So the reason why I chose real estate, because real estate is simply an avenue. It's a source of income to reach my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to start transitional homes for aging out foster youth. As you know, there is a lot of kiddos who unfortunately don't get adopted. And the thing that I think about the most is, how does a child feel to know that their own parents didn't want them? And then to feel nobody else wanted me. Nobody else adopted me. And now I'm 18, and how do I go about life? And so I want to gather and connect with people who are interested in this group of people, of kids who by no fault of their own have no guidance. And I know that for me, if it wasn't for the amazing people that I come across that have met me, that for God, who knows what reason, they say, I see something in you, let me help you out, I wouldn't be where I am. So I have a podcast, Goldland Investors. I'm gonna do a piece on kind of what I just shared with you guys. So thank you. You guys were my practice round. And love to everyone. God bless.
Thank you very much.
Not used to speaking in front of people. So, hi, I am Sheila. I am Dark Iris Media. I make music for television and film. I run my own business and pitch my music on a regular basis, primarily to films. Hillary, stop. I'm here because Hillary is my friend, and she said, please come. Yeah, I also share my music for small businesses if they're having like a Halloween party, that type of thing. My specialty is spooky, dark music. Hence how I dress and present myself. But yeah, that's about it.
Awesome.
Bravo for being shy to get up in front of people. So I got to tell you, after 10,000 hours, it's easy, right? So just keep doing it and keep along. And when you hit 10,000 hours, you'll see it's completely different.
Hi, my name is Claudia Gale, and I don't presently have a business. I'm here because I'm a friend of Marilyn, and I am really excited about her business and want to support her in any way I can. And I hope to come back to more of these meetings. I really enjoyed it today. Thank you. Thanks.
Name is Humberto. This is my second time over here, but my first time introducing myself. I'm starting a business since August. I used to be a scientist at UNM, and now it's my second business, but the first one was when I was 21. Now I'm 46, and a long time ago when that white boxes computers were trending and was an easy business. And it's kind of gambling. You need to leave at a certain point or evolve. Then I became from an electronic engineer to a biomedical scientist with a master's. Then I moved to the PhD. And the time put me to do 3 postdocs over here. And now I feel like I'm more like a kind of entrepreneur. And my business, the name is NM Bionics. I'm focused on, my passion is human performance and wellness. And I'm trying to develop apps. But at the same time, I need a side gig, like getting the cash flow. Then I'm offering services like data analysis that I have expertise for 18 years that I consider myself really good on design research. Then I can pick which variables you need to measure. And I have one client that they are developing technology for diabetes. And the point is like they have a department with coders, but they take months to do that coding to analyze, and I can do the same thing faster and efficiently and also with the insights and focus on the biomedical field. But I'm open to any kind of idea or collaboration. And that's the reason that I'm here trying to get networking and also spread the voice about to get new clients. Thanks so much.
And anyone else who's a scientist who's considering transition to the private sector, hey, good luck. Anybody else want to introduce themselves? Okay, we got a few minutes. What do you want to do, Lisa? We have announcements and events, right?
Let's do events.
You got something for us there?
Yeah, I got like one.
Oh, you do? All right. See, it pays to be fast too, as well as not shy.
Quick. So I'm Brian. We host a WordPress work along on the 3rd Tuesday of the month. So we had one yesterday. If you want to come learn about WordPress, a lot of websites are built using it. It's free. That's the one time that my company and other companies that do this are happy to sit with you and answer your questions for free without a contract and getting paid. So thanks.
What time on Tuesday?
Oh, yeah. It's at Ideas and Coffee at 6 p.m., 6 to 7:30. Thank you.
All right, be there. Empower yourself.
I have a couple on the screen that you can share as well.
Awesome.
Aton is going to come up and share a workshop he's working.
This is fantastic. So I'll throw in one thing. So outdoor adventure pitch, the Outdoor Economics Conference is coming in October up in Santa Fe. CNM Ingenuity is working with us on crafting an adventure pitch. It's up to $15,000 for folks who are in the outdoor and recreation space. deadline for the pitch, and that includes a video and some other information. The deadline for that is this Friday. If you go to outdooreconomics.com, you look for pitch, you'll find it. Up here, let's see. We don't have Jason Burnett today, but that's okay because he's here relatively frequently and he's awesome. So he's got these leadership series. He's got his next event here at Fat Pipe on the 28th, and that's at noon, to how to bring effective change. Also on Fridays here at Fat Pipe, Headshot Fridays. Andres Salazar, Select Fridays, depends on schedule. Do we know if that's happening this week?
He would schedule with anybody who applies.
Okay, sweet.
We'll give you a discount for going through this link.
And we'll try and send this through the network to get information to our attendees. If you signed up with the 1 Million Cup site. Let's see, and additional, there's an EDO walkable event. Oh my heavens. And that happens today. My heavens, at 5 to 9 p.m.
Yes.
Are people from Fat Pipe participating in this EDO event?
Unfortunately, no, because I wasn't scheduled to be in town.
Well, at Edith and Central, people will gather. It's like a block party. It's awesome. Edo was an up and coming neighborhood. COVID put a hit on a lot of different places, but there's a lot of good shops, some great restaurants. So I highly recommend that you check this out. And I will hand it off. I think you've got an event. Is that true?
Aton's working on a great workshop. I just want to mention Aton Pollinger, well, you'll introduce yourself, but he did a workshop here on AI, marketing for AI, and it was the best workshop we've ever had. And people who didn't come, I'm telling you, you missed out. So this is an opportunity that he's going to bring to us.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, that's really nice. That's a great way to start the morning, Lisa. Well, hello, everyone. Yes, I'm just trying to measure where I'm at because I'm not typically with a mic, but hello. So in January 9th, 2024, 5,000 business owners and marketers from around the world are going to gather in Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas, to discuss what's working today in marketing. After which point, Richard Branson's going to come off from his keynote speech. There'll be another guy who comes up and he's going to talk about certain wins that he's been able to have with his clients. This guy is a certified master of persuasion, a certified digital marketer, certified partner, certified twice on that one, and is an award-winning marketing consultant. With all of that being said, he's going to talk about how he built a 7-figure business in 7 months. He's going to talk about how he launched a grand opening for a local company that with only 5 social posts, 5 emails, a compelling offer, and an engineered experience generated over $115,000 in that one day. He's going to talk about how he created an online funnel for someone, a local client as well, that which when they press the on button, it generates 30 new clients on demand every single month, only spending 2 hours a week to manage it, and a 5x return on their ad spend. Those are a few of the many things he's going to talk about, but most importantly, he's going to talk about the action steps they need to take to do that in their business as well. And even more importantly, he's going to give them the tools to do so. Now, before I go on a stage in Vegas, and if you can get over the fact that I was talking about myself in third person, then we can talk about what's next. I'm doing this right here in Albuquerque, the first and only live group that's going to go through a program, 8 modules that is going to go from A to Z, anything you need, starting with marketing strategy. This is going to be a proven strategy that's been shown to produce billions of dollars. It's not my strategy. I didn't come up with it, but I paid to have access to it. And we're going to leverage that. The next one is going to be about finding the ideal client and creating a compelling offer that makes them say yes. Third is going to be about housing that in a website or a funnel or any type of place for that, to drive people to actually take action. Then we're going to talk about how to make sure we follow up on those people with automated sequences so you don't lose money when we start paying to get people into that. So you get the most return on investment. Then the AI module that Lisa was talking about, where I'm going to show how to create a month worth of social media content in 2 hours, right? Then paid advertising. Then we're going to talk about local SEO and grassroots approach for kind of like guerrilla tactic takeover. And last but not least, we're gonna launch a 90-day market takeover blueprint plan. So with all that being said, it's 8 modules, 8 meetings, 90 minutes each time. This is a commitment to that length of time. Each one will be accompanied by a one-on-one session with me personally to make sure that it is implemented correctly. This is not to move into anything more than that. This is to give you the power to create clients on demand and have ease in doing so, and only managing it 15 hours a month. That's it. Now, some of you still, they say, I don't have time to do that. That's okay. At least you'll have a plan to give an agency, a contractor, even an intern, because I'm going to be supplying spreadsheets, tools, step-by-step, on paper, on digital, plans to execute each one of these things, and it will outperform most agencies and most anything you'll ever see. Okay, that's just not I'm not just saying that. That is just a fact. However, there's a catch. Only 15 businesses will be allowed in, one of each industry. That's it. Because the purpose is market takeover, right? So it's really geared towards one of 3 people, well, 3 types of people. I'm sorry, no, I've taken over here. First is you're already leading your market and you want to make sure that no one actually comes and takes your seat. You may have realized that this is a good opportunity for that. Number 2 is you're ambitious and you want to take over the seat. You want to dominate your marketplace. You want to create that level of whatever it may be. That's for you. And number 3, you just want a consistent stream of income. You want to know when the next client is coming through the door while you're doing what you enjoy doing. Okay? Those are the 3 types. The reason I'm actually doing this program as a whole starts with my grandfather, a World War II veteran who fought in a naval airplane. He was in the Air Force, the Naval Air Force, right, at the time, a gunner whose plane was dropped 6 times, right? And people thought, Albert, nothing can break him, right? And each time he went back on that plane 6 times. It was in D-Day, right? Insane to what I believe. Albert won the Flying Cross Medal of Honor for valor. Then he went on to the world and continued to fight the battlefield of trying to provide for his family. Started a pizza place called the Leaning Tower Pizza in Philadelphia. It didn't quite catch, unfortunately. Then he decided to do a fine dining place called The Other Place. And it was about the art of dance, and the whole walls were covered. It was beautiful, an innovator. Then in the 60s, he decided to build a food truck to deliver hot pizza to people at their home. Also didn't quite work. But apparently, and unbeknownst to anyone else, he was also fighting a battle against mental health. And Albert took his life. Fast forward many years, my dad is a business owner, has been forever, provided a fantastic life for me. Everything I could have thought of. My only problem was, are we going to win that next basketball game? Right? Not knowingly that he was, the business was just holding on a hair. When we all left, all the kids left the house, everything collapsed. And they didn't know what to do about their retirement, about what they're doing. And that is why I set out to find these tools. It's why I set out to start this thing. It's why I want to provide these tools to everyone in here. So you can create what you want or lead the market or do any of it, but have the tools to do so and the guidance, right? I did this so I can help them do what they're doing now, which is my mom painting, my dad doing yard work and helping kids learn how to do art. So that's all I have to say. That's a lot, I know. I'm sorry.
Give us a date.
October 18th. One more piece of that. After this talk today, in a few hours, I'm going to be blasting this to thousands of people as an opportunity. The people here have the first shot. 1, because I work right there. 2, because 8 years ago, I was right here looking for opportunities and the right people to meet and the right things to do. And I thought it'd be really cool if I launched this here and give that opportunity here. So you could use this as potentially a decision that could change everything, or have another morning and have coffee, enjoy, and we'll see you around. All right.
Thank you. I do have one more event to announce. There is going to be a scale-up sprint done by the Arrowhead Center. The deadline application deadline is the 25th of this month, so it's coming up. If you're interested in applying for the Scale Up Sprint at the Arrowhead Center, New Mexico. The pitch event is going to be held at Electric Playhouse in Albuquerque. So Las Cruces has learned that the action is here and they're coming to our turf. So talk to me afterwards if you're thinking of applying before September 25th for scaling up your company.
Don't forget to stand on the star so people online can see
Yes,
you.
I'm here. Right. I'm Clay Pine. I'm with Ala Pops, but today I'm not going to talk about Ala Pops. This is our new product. It's oil in it, but I'm sure it's not snake oil. But it has actually snake oil function. I mean, it works for lots of things. So this is designed for the good bacteria on the skin, on your skin. So Ala Pops is for the good bacteria in the mouth. This is for the good bacteria on your skin. So if you have problem like skin allergies, frequently you have hive, something like that, or if you have a joint pain, like me, I have quite severe shoulder pain. I tested it twice. So in the winter, I had difficulty to get my backpack on. So it was that severe and it worked. And I stopped it. And for 3 months, the pain came back and I used it again for pain went away again. So I tested it twice. This is work for skin allergy problem, joint pains, muscle pains. So for my actually prostate issues, it works for that as well. So that's enough. I see I have a 2 jar. I brought 2 jars here today. I'll sell it for nothing. Volunteer if you want to try that. So okay, 1, the second jar.
2.
Okay, all right.
Go, Owen.
So all right, sold out. Thank you.
So you're probably wondering, how does he make money giving away stuff? All right.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Danielle. I'm the owner of Conscious Crossroads End of Life Services. I'm an end of life coach and death doula. I announced last week that I would be on the TJ Trout Show at 4 p.m. and they canceled me immediately following. I know I was rescheduled to today. And I believe this time it's actually going to work because they were promoting it yesterday and they were calling me the doula of death.
Oh, no.
So they make me sound super metal, which is kind of fun. But so today, 96.3 KKOB TJ Trout, I will be there. So please
What
listen
time?
in. 4 p.m.
Oh, cool.
Thank you. And thank you to anybody that did tune in and nothing. So sorry.
I'm Barbara Dawson with Purple Mulch and just got the confirmation that I'll be doing an authentic communication sales process here right after 1 Million Cups on the 18th of October. So it's not right after. There's a bit of a break, but we'll start at 11:30, go to 1. It's a free event. Bring your lunch. Let's talk.
Awesome.
Well, that was a pretty full calendar. I think we're all ready, set to wrap it up. So we've been given a lot to think about today. And one of the things that I found out in my business is there's always something you can do. So you might have a task board full of stuff that you're waiting for other people to do. And it's frustrating because, none of that is really up to you, so, but there's always something you can do. And when I get frustrated at that situation, I say there's something I can do. So we've been given a lot to think about today. Sometimes your HR problem is inside your head. I know a lot of people that have stood in their own way. I've seen them make, ego-driven mistakes and drive their business into the hay bales when there were good people ready to work hard for them. And they couldn't get past what was going on between the founder's ears. So don't be that person. There's plenty of help out there. It's hard to do that by yourself. Sometimes you need, like I have a really good board right now, and they tell me exactly what I'm doing wrong. I'm very grateful for that. So toughen up, guys. Get some people to give you the hard advice. And if you're being a problem to your business, take that part of yourself and fire it. All right, have a great week. See you next week.